In to Malchor's Leap today with Deborah. We're going to be looking at the next two cathedrals, that being the Cathedral of Eternal Radiance, associated with the goddess Lissa, and the Cathedral of Zephyrs, associated with the leader of the gods, the goddess Dwayna. So they're both going to be along the roads here, beyond the Theatre of Delight, the Valley of Liss. You'll see we've got Radiance here, Zephyrs here. They both have pretty intricate meta events, and particularly Zephyr, I'm really thrilled to show you all, because it sheds more light on Malchor and the namesake for this area and the very cliffs where he commits suicide. So incredible amounts of lore bombs, especially here. And over here is one of my favorite, I've already mentioned on the series, best well-designed meta events in the game. Unfortunately right now, I say unfortunately, and that's kind of a weird thing, the Pact have actually already claimed both of them. And so they're in a position where if any of the Risen ever attack, the Pact can just defend it, and we're perfectly fine. They'll stay in our control. In fact, if you look at this footage here, just a second ago, you'll notice this is Deborah defending the Cathedral of Eternal Radiance. And when this final boss died, this creature, there was only a single player, a single Guild Wars 2 player was soloing this when I came along and started healing up. When it ends, you'll notice I get full rewards for the meta for that day. The big chest spawns, I get achievement progress, all that stuff. So what we're kind of looking for is over the next X amount of time, when something new might happen or disaster will strike and they fall, then Deborah will lead the strike team to see the full metas and the stories that they tell. But as it's another video and we are obviously on a fairly new class from our perspective right now, I want to talk to you a little bit more about Guardian. The whole idea right now being that we'll play a supportive Guardian and show you that kind of Healy, helping people out role that I think MMOs really need, and is very well delivered with the class. So we've seen Mace, we've seen Shield, we've seen Staff, we've seen this selection of utilities between Shouts and Signets. Let's pick up a Specialization line. We are level 80, we just don't have anything equipped. Deborah hasn't really thought about it. So, here we go. Let's take a look. And what I'm going to start us off on is Honor. Honor being, if you'll recall, every class so far we've seen, they've got kind of a Healy line and a tanky line. Well, this one is our Healy line. So a Healy line on a kind of a Healy supportive class is going to be pretty ridiculous. So we're going to buy our way all the way in. Then we're going to go to our Specializations, and we're going to equip our first one for the first cathedral we'll take out here, Honor. Honor's going to give us 3 minors. First of all, we get Vigor whenever we crit, which means we can dodge more, basically. We don't crit much because we're on Clerics, but hey. Next, we get Selfless Daring. This one's very cool. The end of our dodge roll heals. So you remember, like on Engineer, Bract, if he specialized correctly with explosives, whenever Bract dodged, he dropped a bomb, right? And so there's actually a dodge roll trait like this on every class. Most of them do damage, but Guardian is one of the rare examples of not doing any damage at all. Instead, it's a heal. It's an AoE heal, and it's a really strong one as well. There's a big number on that. So here I'll get in combat. You'll see our Signet will pulse. If I dodge, we get another pulse. That's not the Signet. That's because of our dodge. And so what you can actually do is dodge onto your friends to keep them alive. It's a fun part of Guardian, especially when you take this into PvP encounters. You really do use that trait, Selfless Daring, a lot of the time to make sure that you can keep people going. Here you'll see how little damage we do as a cleric here, by the way. So yeah, that's a really fun minor. Next, we have Purity of Body, which is that our Virtue of Resolve, that being the defensive virtue, that now has an additional effect, which is that it constantly regenerates health and endurance now. So we get Vigor on crit, which increases endurance, and also just always, our bar is filling up quicker. And what does that mean? We get Selfless Daring more, and the Vigor here means we get Selfless Daring more. You notice how many of these lines are all like that? They're working to their own ends, right? Similar to how we saw on Necromancer recently, the complete opposite, really, where it was all about conditions, building more bleeds, building more crit, building more bleeds, right? So yeah, this is about getting more dodges so that you can get more heals from more Selfless Daring. Cool. Then the majors are where things get really exciting. So first, our Adept Major. I'm going to pick up, and I'm not going to go through every single one, as always. They're all really supportive and cool. Let's start off here, though, with Invigorated Bulwark. This is our Mace trait, right? So we increase our outgoing healing every time we block something, and our Mace skills gain reduced recharge, and their boons last longer. So, by quite a lot, you can pause the video and look if you like. So what this means is when I use my Mace 3, which is meaning I'm blocking, if I secure blocks, I start stacking even more healing. But it's only outgoing healing. So that's healing for my allies. So what I can do is on my mace, I can block, 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 block. I can block from retreat. I can block from our Virtue of Courage. And then I can swap to staff and use a really massive explosion heal here and dodge at the same time, right? While I have all these kind of blocks rolling. So this extra buff. So Invigorated Bulwark. Next, I'm going to show you guys Pure of Heart, which is Aegis. Heals when it blocks an attack. And again, a massive heal. You'll notice that that's actually almost as strong as our dodge roll heal, okay? Over 1,000 health. That's before any other modifiers, right? So, yeah, now whenever I retreat, that's become a healing skill. Now whenever I use that, that's become a healing skill. So we're just getting so much more. And then finally, the Grand Master. There's a lot of fun Grand Masters to pick from. We're running shouts right now. So, for example, there's this one here, Pure of Voice. This means that shouts recharge quicker, which means we can spam them more, but also they convert conditions into boons. So if I cast Retreat next to someone who's burning, I will turn their burning into Aegis. They'll like get double Aegis. That won't actually help much because Aegis doesn't stack in intensity, but still, right? Or I could shout to cleanse fear off of them. Say a Risen has just scared someone away. I could shout Retreat with that trait. And what I would do is turn the fear into stability. So they can't get feared again. So, really fun trait. But beyond that, I'm actually going to show you guys this one. Force of Will. Gain increased vitality. So, if you look at my health right now here in Malchor's Leap, I have 10,000 health, okay? But when I pick this up, I go up to 13,000. One of the things about Guardian is it's actually like, just like Casey, who was an Elementalist, Guardians and Ellies both have low vitality. And so picking up this kind of allows us to feel a bit more like a warrior who has lots of very high vitality just for free. This gives us 3,000 health here, right? Really nice. But also, not only do we get the extra health, but also healing others is improved based on how much vitality we have. So because I'm Clerics, which is toughness, I don't get too much out of this trait. But there are other stat combos we could maybe go with that gives us loads of health, which means Force of Will here is even more healing. So, yeah, just enormous amounts of heals. That's what Honor's all about, really. And now, when we go to do one of these cathedrals, you can bet your ass will be healing a hell of a lot more. So, yeah, I'll see you guys as soon as one of them has fallen, and we'll be looking to do some very cool stories. Perfect. Okay, so the Cathedral of Zephyrs is in need of assistance right now. If you look up here on the meta event, it says an Orion scholar is needed at the Altar of Tempest to investigate a strange statue. A second ago, right before I recorded, it said that the temple had fallen and a scholar from Fort Trinity was on its way to this area. And that's where we're headed to now. You can see the shield on the bottom right. That's the scholar. He just sort of got airdropped in over here on this field.
Once a year, the ancient Orions illuminated the causeway from the temple to Doric's shrine. This plaza shimmered like a jewel. The lighting ceremony honored Doric's role as the first king of Tyria, and the first to kneel at Dwayna's feet. I wonder if any of those lights remain.
Sweet. So I think we might have missed the first line of what he says here. Look at that. He's just summoned to Dwayna and used the animation.
Looks like the lights aren't all that remain. We'll have to fight our way across.
He used the heal skill animation and everything. That's so cool. Let's see what he says. If I can disable the statue in the Cathedral of Zephyrs, it will stop powering the corrupted statues of Dwayna throughout all of war. I'll need your protection. Will you help? Of course we'll help. We're in Protector's armor. We are a Guardian. We're all about protecting. Okay, cool. So with our new traits, let's check this out and see how it goes. We've got plenty of players around, it seems already. These guys got on this quick. And we need to move Historian Vermouth further forwards. I'm not quite sure what it is that threatens his life right now. Maybe some of these Orions that are charging towards him. So of the two metas I want to show you on today's video, this is the one with the better lore. The other one's the one with the really good mechanics.
As you can see, the temple grounds are defended by Dwayna's followers. It's tragic that they now serve Zaitan.
It is indeed, but it's no more tragic than any of these other gods and other areas, right? They've all been fallen this whole time. So you can see sparks nearby. It looks like we're actually going to walk up the same kind of route we attempted to in the past as well, where all the giants were coming down. Needless to say, I'm a little bit concerned because it was freaking dangerous before, no? Oh, okay, so instead of the right, we're actually going up the left stairway. Yeah, this is where I thought we'd be headed to. Players are getting out really preemptively. It's very good. I'll try and keep swiftness on him here. You see, I'm not the only Guardian doing that. And by doing that, we can make sure that he runs nice and quick. You can do that to speed up most escorts in the game. As I've shown a variety of times. Casey would do the same with his staff in air attunement. As we swing up here, you guys are going to actually find there's some underwater content related. This is one of the only big metas in Ore that to do with the temples that deals with underwater stuff. There's actually a whole other meta I'm not even going to show you on this series in the waters up here to do with an Inquest lab. Definitely, if you guys play, I recommend trying it out. It takes you inside a base that's underwater, which is kind of a really fun idea. Okay, well...
The statue's over by the altar, right over there.
Yeah, but I just heard a Risen shouting. He doesn't change his dialogue.
Do you think you can defeat the power of a god and an elder dragon combined?
I don't think that priestess is going to let us near Dwayna's altar without a fight.
So, on this time, we basically open with the fight with the priest really quickly, like an escort and with air straight away.
Dwayna will show you mercy by ending your pray for your life, fool.
But you're going to find there's a lot more to it than that.
The power of the god.
Oh, God, ow. She interrupted herself and pulled us all in. I'm throwing heals.
And Satan chose me. I cannot die.
I love how it's so freaky. They all feel like they're favored directly by Zaitan, like they've been talking to him, like he's just a guy. Crazy. All right, so we get a chest. Oh, our inventory's full. So full of loot, is it? Well, let's see how Vermouth goes. Is this good enough, dude? Look at that statue, guys. Look at it, full of energy.
There's some kind of energy field surrounding the altar. I can't get through. A ghost! Stand back.
Ooh.
Priestess, huh? You never knew Dwayna, not as I did. You never gazed into a luminous face. Ah, my eyes, I see nothing. Nothing but you, my goddess. Nothing but a perfection I can never recapture. I can't take it anymore.
Wow.
Six, that was him. Malchor. Well, it was his spirit at least. Legend says his love for Dwayna drove him to leap off her temple to his death. He seemed to be reliving that. Oh, I see. He's using his spirit as a shield, protecting Dwayna's altar with his energy. That means he's the only one who can remove it. We must find out where his spirit's hiding, and then drive him back up here to the altar.
Look at how incredibly beautiful this area is. The statue of Dwayna with her wings stretched out there. So here he says, strange, Malchor was furious about the temple's corruption. That implies that he's not in Zaitan's thrall. So he's a regular ghost here. I wonder. Anyway, we need him to return so we can break the shield around Dwayna's statue. You know about all this stuff, right? Can I ask you something? I've studied extensively Orion history with a focus on religion and culture. What would you like to know? What just happened? I tried to break the connection between the statue and the smaller ones throughout Ore, but Malchor has placed some sort of seal on it. He's the only one who can bring it down. Who is Malchor and why does he care about Dwayna so much? It's tragic, truly. Malchor was a famous sculptor in his time. Dwayna appeared to him one day, commanding that he sculpt her in his image. Malchor tried for years but could never do it justice to the vision of the goddess. What did he do? He went mad. He sculpted statue after statue, but none of them matched Dwayna's beauty. Finally, in despair, he threw all the statues off the temple's cliff into the sea and leapt off after them. A tragic waste. His telling of this story is actually quite different to the last time we heard it. That's terrible. No wonder he doesn't want to come back. Where is he now? Well, Malchor's spirit resides near the location of his death, in the sea west of here. You'll probably have to force him to return here. Then we must convince him to break his seal. Got it. Thanks. So here, what this should be doing is lighting up an event for me to show me where to go. And that's the second part of the meta, to actually hunt down Malchor's ghost. We actually get to see him. Show me where to find him. It doesn't seem to work right now, but we'll know where that is. Don't worry. So anyway, I'm going to just quickly loot some of this stuff here. So let's see. We'll deposit our materials. And let's grab this chest. I know some of you will have been crying out that I pick it up as if it's so important. So there you go. And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful here, isn't it? This statue is actually kind of ominous knowing where this meta goes. And yeah, I love how it's flanked by these other two statues here. These almost dryad looking. Look at the spine coming out of it. Absolutely bizarre looking cathedral. And so yeah, that's Malchor's magic there. Malchor the ghost still around in Ore, and I find that such a compelling idea that regular Orions can still be around here. So what I'm going to do is waypoint away to the lights waypoint, and you'll see that the players in the area are actually already dragging Malchor over, and he's got so much cool dialogue as well. We may have missed one line already, but here he is. So check it out. We're going to have to keep hitting him and force him to come to the statue. In fact, I think we missed a whole part underwater here where you're supposed to interact with him and get him out of one of the statues that's been thrown down there. I'll swim down in a second once the meta's over so you guys can see.
Enough. I will go no farther.
It's a shame, but you know, it's open worlds. Players will just zerg through and do stuff. I can't slow them down.
Leave me alone.
Oh, I want to leave you alone, dude. I like you, but come on, we got to deal with the cathedral, man. I can't actually give him swiftness because he's an enemy. So the idea here being to, you know, we push him, we phase him 25%, we push him, we phase him, and he's going to be grumpy about it as he goes. He holds me in combat here as well, so our signet just will not stop. Kind of nice. Because the meta up here says only Malchor the Sculptor can break the protection around the strange Dwayne statue at the Altar of Tempests. And here he is. You know, it's the other meta here. The path to Orion needs assistance, but that'll be for another time.
The lights. Is it time for the festival? Dwayne, where are your followers? What is this? Rocket, mindless drones? Shameful. No part of this. Make them go away.
It's weird that, you know, these guys spawn, so we do have Risen to fight. But he could have been talking about like us to an extent as well. I like how he's a ghost that knows what's happened here, you know.
The very existence mocks the goddess.
I love this, right? Filth, he calls them. Their existence. It's so crazy that he's a ghost that knows just how tortured this land has become. You know, a lot of people will think about the tragedy of Malchor and, you know, his story while he was alive and how he died and jumped from the cliffs and stuff. I think there's a whole other side to the tragedy of Malchor. Here, we can heal this guy really heavily. Look at that. There's another side to the tragedy of Malchor, and that's friggin' he is one of the only entities in all of Tyria that can appreciate how far Or has fallen.
Are they gone? Perhaps I can get just a little bit closer.
Like, he's from Or in its prime, guys. In its prime. And he knows about this, the corruption, the undead. I think that's super sad. So now he's an ally, but we still can't swift him, I think. Either that or I just gave my retreat to all the players instead of him, which kind of sucks. Let's try and put the symbol under him and see if it works. Yeah, we can't give him boons, apparently. Devs probably have that disabled here because the meta is on very precise timing, and if you break it accidentally, you might, you know, bug the whole thing. And you can't have a meta like this bugging because it will disable a huge part of the content.
Her eyes. I feel them watching me. Look away, goddess. Let me hide my shame.
He's so sad. I wish we could have a candid conversation with him. But maybe the point is that he's gone a bit nuts as well, right? So maybe he doesn't truly appreciate what's happened.
Forgive me. I did the best I could.
Heart-wrenching, truly. I remember before the game came out, the devs talked about this story of Malchor, and it really gripped people. So it was super fun to be able to get in game and see how it manifested
Leave me alone.
as actual gameplay. Here he keeps running. Back up we go. And so this will be the end of the meta now. Just please bring your energy down.
My tribute to Dwayne lies near. No, stay away from her. This one place must remain unsullied. My pure offering to the goddess.
More. Drive him into the barrier.
Jesus Christ. So we hit him again up here. I love how our scholar back there is just so bloodthirsty. He didn't even come to help us. He just waited up here. Jesus. So here I could be on shield and I could knock that break bar down. And I kind of regret swapping to staff. But hey, it's fine. Give everybody might, I guess. So the boss fight at the end here is really hard, by the way. Not as hard as Balthazar was in its prime, but it's still tough.
I have failed you, my goddess.
Stand down. He is defeated. Let him speak his piece.
You asked me to carve your image so people might know you. But I could never capture your grace, your beauty. And now the small protection I've placed upon it must fall. I failed to protect you, my love.
See, look, that's like a romantic love. Look at that.
Yes, I can still have my revenge.
Malchor has possessed the statue. Fight it.
So, oh, look at it. Look at the shadows back there behind the statue. Look at how cool this is. That is one hell of a unique enemy. I guess I kind of lied when I pointed out the Orion Fire Eater in a recent episode. This statue is obviously super unique. The statue of Dwayne, look at it. It's amazing as well, and actually truly deadly in terms of gameplay. Luckily, Deborah's pretty tanky, and I don't have to be too scared about this. We can resustain and keep everyone alive. So look at that. We just got chunked with some damage. I won't go into every little mechanic of every little animation she does, but there's a giant nuke where she splats like the entire area with like bullet hellfire that we have to be careful of. As long as our team has her pushed into that corner, hopefully we can blow her up quite comfortably. And I'm just going to stay back here and make sure that I drop as many heals and regen as I can. All right, we've got her pushed right in this corner. I've never seen it like this, but it's probably a good thing. It means we can kill her without being too scared. Most of her projectiles will hit the walls. But yeah, so Malchor possesses the statue, and I think that's a really fun idea for the final boss here now, as it comes out to take us on. You might be wondering about Dwayna's like race as well with the big wings, and it's a cool thing to think about.
My clumsy attempts to capture your fleet were blasphemy enough, my beloved Dwayna. Letting others defile you, it goes beyond sin. I failed you yet again. This time, I leave no part of myself here.
And so he runs off, this time with no energy to defend it. We don't get to speak to him. It's a really sad ending, honestly. The happy music plays now, obviously, because we just beat the goddamn thing. But Jesus. So we get the big chest. Potentially very rare loot can come from these at this point. I don't think we really got anything too crazy there. And yeah, does the researcher linger about? I want to speak to him and see what he thinks. So you can research the area now. He'll probably walk. Here we go. He's walking forwards now. So what do you think, dude? Comfortable? Cathedral of Zephyrs. The seal on the statue of Dwayna must be broken, it says. Well, he should do that now. It's kind of suggestive of a doorway there where you could go inside. We don't actually get that.
Now I should have no trouble breaking the connection between this statue and the lesser ones. There. Removing this threat will help our chances in battles all over Or.
Yeah, how cool is that? I love the sound effect. So good. He becomes our karma merchant this time. After everything I've witnessed here in Or, I may have to write a book of my own. Assuming I survive, that is.
He knows so little.
You'll be fine. I can't wait to read about your adventures. Thank you. You'll be in the book, of course. Of course. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's the story of Historian Vermouth teaching us a bit about the Festival of the Lights with Dwayna and at Malchor's actual interaction with the story here. We can come right up to the altar here. We get a hero challenge. This altar to the goddess Dwayna radiates with a vibrant, hopeful energy, making it an island of solace amidst the corruption that has poisoned Or. Commune with this place of power. And every time we get a little bit more of an insight into Zaitan and who he's corrupted and how they feel about being corrupted, these great captains and generals of his. Again, we get another champion box. You notice how quickly they all flow in here now. And yeah, the Priory sets up this big dome of energy, breaks connection. So, that's all one thing. Now, there is more to talk about here, because as we come around the back of the cathedral, there's kind of a hidden area of the map, where before, you'll notice we came up around this ramp. Let me just be very clear. We climbed up here, right? And you might try and leave in what you think is the same way, but you see these torches? They actually suggest in this corner there's another direction. And you see we come around what feels like weird stuff, but there's more lights. Look at that airship. And you'll see that there's enemies, sparks around here. We can actually climb onto the cliffs at the back of the cathedral. And there's a few things you get to read and look at. I think there's even an achievement you can get here. I haven't been here for a long time, guys, I must say. You see, we've got veterans. So whenever you capture a temple, Zaitan's minions get replaced with these elementals, as I've said many times. And you could farm them for lodestones. Lodestones were used in legendary weapon crafting and just any kind of high-end crafting at launch. Lodestones were a really good thing to go for. So these drop charged lodestones, which to this day are worth a ton of money. And one of the early game farms I used to do was come right here on these cliffs, only when the cathedral was claimed, and I would farm sparks just like this, killing them over and over and over, hoping to get lodestones off of them. There's a couple of special places within Or. One of the other ones in Kershaw, the map we haven't visited really yet, where you kill them and yeah, you just keep trying to claim this stuff as best you can. There's Risen Eagles high up here. And we're on a ridiculously high plateau right now, guys. Potentially one of the most extraordinary and high ones of the entire launch game. So here, check it out. There's an explorer. It's a Silvari. Hello.
Your knowledge flourish.
Deborah's really interacted with Silvari very much. Malchor was the sculptor who shaped the statues of the gods you see across Or. The process drove him to madness, and he eventually took his life here. A curious thing to commemorate, I think. Why was so these are the cliffs, guys, that they put all of the flowers and things on we heard about, right? Why was Malchor's work so important to them? It's interesting to hear from Malchor's own tongue that his version of the events here are different to the version of the story that humans pass down, right? That they contradict over the hundreds of years. And that's, you know, just demonstrates how stories are warped in their retelling. Why would Malchor's works be so important to them? Orions revered their 6 gods above all other things. Malchor was the only one among them to have actually seen the deities' faces. His statues allowed a glimpse at that which they would never see. But Malchor's gift to them was a curse for him. Hence this recognition of his sacrifice. The madness he endured and eventually succumbed to made it possible for all to experience the countenance of the gods. I guess that sacrifice is worth commemorating. I find it really interesting that the Guild Wars 2 developers had a Sylvari deliver this information. But yeah, there's a Sculptors Memorial here. I think it would actually be Orion's script we could look at and translate on this. And we could just press F. It says, having seen Dwayna's glory, Malchor could not bear to live in a world without her. It was here that he took the steps that would allow him to exit this world. So this is where he died. So this is what the Orions wrote to commemorate it. We actually get a hero challenge just from reading. And I think that's some... that's a cool decision from the devs as well, because so many hero challenges now are just fight stuff, but they decide to go purely with lore on that, and it kind of hones in how powerful that was. And check it out, we get the point of interest, Sculptor's End. We walk right up. There's this beautiful vista here. There are diving goggles we can equip, so Deborah gets in her bikini now. And we can jump off, just as Malchor did. Except we'll survive as the hero. Are you guys ready? This is a huge drop. I just want to point out that what we see in the distance, you see those rocks coming out of the water? Well, that's the idea of the Strait of Malchor is what we're looking at here. And the idea of Malchor's fingers, sort of these tendrils poking out glimpses of ore while it was still underwater. It's super, super interesting. So, ready? Off we go! And we're going to try and not hit any rocks as we fall, because that would be defeat and the end of Deborah. And we get to do some spins, and there you go. That would be the achievement you get there as we dive into the water. And what do you have here? Well, there's actually a statue of Melayu in the water down here. Oh my god, and yeah, this is a whole other thing. So we don't really know much about the Norn, but the Norn care about the spirits of the wild. And here out in the waters, you'll find, look, spirits of sorrow and spirit of emptiness. What's the story with that? Well, maybe that's the story for another day. Yeah, there's a statue of Melayu. That is actually not where this whole meta event starts and whatnot, though. The little bit we missed because we were still talking to Scholar Vermouth, it's down here at this point of interest. So let's have Deborah swim over there and hopefully not get too messed up in the process. We'll go this way. And I'll show you what that's like. You'll notice we're actually in some very dangerous waters here because not only is it crate around here, it's Risen crate. So, just think about these crate from this deeps, right? I'm not going to be able to spend long on this video talking about it because we've got the other cathedrals to do. But, essentially what the devs have shown us here is some crate that are only in these areas of the world because they were forced away by the deep sea Elder Dragon. The crate come here as refugees, set up a deeps near ore, and then Zaitan rises right next to them as well, and they all get turned to Risen. You may hate the crate. They may be some of the most bluntly evil entities in this entire franchise, but these ones definitely didn't have a lucky run of it, right? And I do feel for them to some extent. Anyway, so look at this. Look, there's stairs and things. This was all above water at some point. I guess when Zaitan raised it, he wasn't completely exhaustive in how he did so. But yeah, so we'll swim along. I mean, that's kind of a weird thought, actually, because the waters over here have Orion wreckages, but it was always a peninsula. I don't know. The land has just changed too much over 250 years. But yeah, so look. Here are his unfinished statues to Dwayna. So I'm just going to kill this Risen Acolyte here. An Acolyte still here, lingering where the god it once, worshipped was once upon a time revered. Actually, do you know what? This is going to take 1,000,000 years because we've got 3 Acolytes on us, so whatever. We'll just ignore them and heal up. Check it out. Malchor's Anguish. Look at these. So here's a broken statue, an original work in progress. A couple more around, some down here. We can interact with this one. Let's go over. And we can interact with the one over there as well. I wonder if they give us different details each time. So yeah, let's swim over. And yeah, they say that this is where he threw himself off, but that's not quite true. It was somewhere else. Even as old as it is, this statue was obviously never completed. The sculptor carved what appeared to be words in the base. Examine the carving. Illegible, the words have been scratched out with hacking marks that also mar the signature Malchor. So we got that there. We're slowly getting more and more acolytes attacking us here. Let's see if the flavor text is different for each one, right? So there I just double dodged and healed the hell out of myself, as you can see. Even underwater, Selfless Daring will proc. The marks on this statue have a manic, swirling pattern. The mind of its creator was either brilliant or insane. The sculptor carved what appeared to be words on the block. It says, "And again, Dwayna, and again, until I have captured your beauty, you will be mine. You will be mine!" A scrawled letter M is the only other thing carved there. So, I mean, he goes nuts. It's a really weird thing because we've got all these different fragments of what actually happened here in the world hundreds of years ago. But what was the actual real situation? Because wasn't there a suggestion there that Grenth may have been the product of this love? That's what the scrolls was certainly suggesting. But is that true? Can it be true? It sounds like he went mad before he finished his job. And we heard that once he finished it, they never saw each other again. Crudely carved by any artist standards, this statue shows little innate talent. And yet, the passion with which it was sculpted is evident. The sculptor carved tiny words in the stone. Examine the carving. It says, "Dwayna 2, dedicated to her beauty and sweetness. Work your magics through my hands, and I will raise a statue in your honor that will shame even your priestesses." The signature reads, "Malchor, turn away." So 3 statues showing 3 levels of his deterioration and insanity. And when you do the meta event, you come and I think you just examine these, and he pops up here and he says, "No, I don't want to be at the temple." And you hit him, and then he just runs up and comes to the shore, and then the rest is what we saw. So there you go, guys. Awesome stuff. The Cathedral of Zephyrs, very fun. And the only other one to do now is Eternal Radiance. We're here at the start. These are the main NPCs that we'll be dealing with. Crusader Gadding says, Magister Marister says, "We're not yet ready to assault the Altar of Lies just yet." And we'll speak with her in a second. Lightbringer Brutefur says, "Apparently the altar will remain invincible until we disable the seals. Someone should get on that because I'm itching for a battle." And then Marister here says, "Our objective is the Altar of Lies, but it's protected by the corrupted magic of Lissa. What do we do? Well, the magical barrier around the altar is sustained by the 3 seals of Lissa on the outer rim of the cathedral." So Lissa's like this duality goddess, but there's 3 seals defending her. How do we deactivate them? Well, each seal seems to present a unique situation. I have therefore deployed a team of specialists to all 3. Fight your way to them, and they can brief you in further detail. So the meta actually starts in this position, right? Where if we look in the center, you'll see there is a boss. It's the corrupted High Priestess. Unlike with Dwayna, we just have to kill the one, and then once we've done it, we've done it. But she's invulnerable, and there's this purple shield protecting. How cool is that? And the statue itself is all green and miasmic. Looking at the world map, we have 3 separate areas that Trahan showed us, the funerary rites. Or not Deborah, but the others, the funerary rites. And we've got to go deal with those.
You dare defile my master's sacred temple? We must strike at the corrupted High Priestess while the seals are disabled. Go now.
Where you have a really cool situation. Everyone charging around, splitting into 3 groups, and then rushing back in.
There it is. By all that's holy, kill that abomination.
Oh, so the players in the area have already actually dealt with it. Jesus Christ, they've been so fast. How many people are here? My God. All right, so they've just pulled the seal down, right? So basically, you've got an objective to deal with, and you've got a defense to deal with.
Don't
So
look at her.
you'll see these seals. That's on defense, but this is on offense right now, and I'd have to claim it. So I need to revive Creator Flink, Warmaster Striketail, and Scholar Brave, and then they'll be able to deal with this one area. And you can see the light beam here. This energy beam in the center sort of suggests that this needs to be dealt with to keep the shield down.
What? No. Saitan's minions have reclaimed one of the seals. We must retreat.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, this is the situation, right? So basically, you need to have the energy beams all broken in order to get into the center there, and then Marister will only attack once they're all broken. So we need to split up and deal with them. So I think that one's now being cleansed. Let's come over to this one here and see what we've got now. Back in the same direction. I know I'm waffling, going backwards and forwards, but I'm trying to show you everything. And I don't know what the other players in the area have done versus what I'm trying to do. So yeah, all right, let's go on over and see what we've got. It doesn't look like there's anyone else, and I'm only a healer. So let's hope that people can help out. That guy was sending me a pie request. Hopefully he just comes over. In fact, let me tag up and see if we get anyone here. So what I'm actually going to do here is, because it will take me a million years to kill anything, I'm going to use Signet of Mercy, which is, it's not AoE, it only revives 1 guy, unfortunately. But I'm going to use Signet of Mercy to res some of these guys, and I'm going to go for a regular res afterwards as well, and keep them healed up. My God, let's hope we can. So this is some true support we're dealing with here. Keeping there you go, getting some players in as well who can do some damage and cleave this down. Perfect, look at that, lovely jubbly. All right, cool. So we got 1 up. That's the Whispers guy. Now let's get the Priory guy up, and then we'll get the Vigil guy last of all. Excellent. So it looks like it is just the oh no, another player here as well. We're slowly building our numbers. The pact arrives.
It's going to take forever to put this cannon back together. We best get started.
Oh, please. I'll just reconfigure the auto-reconstruction routine and tap the seal's power.
Wait. Are you sure that's a good idea? Last time it didn't go so well.
What? You're questioning me? Like you know anything about fracticating repowerment chantels? Now stand aside and let my genius dazzle you.
Alright, okay, I'm ready. He's emoted. So, they don't really seem to be doing anything right now. I guess we'll leave some people here to have that recharge. And then once that cannon charges, that's that seal broken. And we've got that. As the tag, I'm going to move on now to one of the other areas while that bar charges. And hopefully that'll help bring the shield down to take out the Risen Priestess on the inside. I love the look of the orange broken waypoint here as well, by the way. Disrupted because of Zaitan's power. The boss itself has got a ton of things we'll be talking about once that begins. But yeah, okay, so let's move up to the next seal now. I can see that this one's on a defense phase because of the shield on the minimap, and I can see this one's on an assault phase, so let's see how we can do with that. We'll cast Retreat to run on over. And yeah, look at these big wide roads ready to support loads of players all charging along at once. It's going to be great. Okay, so here, what have we got? Fortifications. A ton of Risen fortifications defending this seal, and wraiths around as well at Mirror Bay. Cool. So, seems pretty simple. Let's blow all this stuff up. In fact, we specifically have to destroy the walls. Nice. You guys good? They're cheering. That's good. We get the waypoint up here.
Now that the undead are out of the way, we can channel the seal's energy into this waypoint.
Time for reinforcements.
Cool. Wait, so are we actually going to get people waypointing in? That would be so cool, honestly.
Knowledge.
No time to rest. The shield around the Altar of Lies won't come down until we take care of those other seals, okay?
Well met.
It's still up, so go take down the other seals. Brilliant. All right, so that's this one, just a simple assault. This one here seems to be defend while the cannon charges. Now let's run all the way over to the final seal that we've not seen yet. And so you'll see that the big energy beam in the sky has been broken now as we've succeeded here. The problem and the complication with this, mechanically, is eventually that will get attacked and we need players to defend it when that happens. And hopefully someone's got the foresight to do so. I'm going to try and get as much voice acting as possible though and run on. So there I got immobilized, but we can use our Virtue of Resolve to cleanse a condition. Okay, so capture and deactivate this seal. It looks like we're charging something up. Protect the pack golems until they charge the neutralizer device. Well, what do we got? There's a big device in the center here with the orange name there. Packed neutralizing device. A ton of sparks around. And there are these pylons in the sides, these inverters. The game here is to press F on an inverter, which will give us energy. And then we can, an energy matrix specifically. And then we can throw the energy matrix at the thing in the middle and charge it up. And that slowly gives power level. We just got chunked by something. What the hell was it? Something hit us really hard. Anyway, we managed to heal up. So yeah, we're just going to keep picking up energy and throwing it in the matrix. And you get about 900 range on it. So it's not too bad. We're just going to grab and throw in, grab and throw in. And then hopefully with that, they can take down this seal. And that'll be this energy down. You'll notice now, if we look back in, the blue beam that was connecting from the other side that we were first at has just disappeared. So the players that stayed there have successfully finished that mechanic now, you see. Well, actually, the event looks like it's still up. But I think with these down, that should be, generally speaking, all three done, we should be able to go attack the boss itself. Also, once we collect energy from these pylons, they do seem to power down. And I think the way we power them back up is by bringing sparks over to them or something. Power level is low. Please insert one standard-sized matrix. Where can I get one? A power inverter can just dispense one, really? Okay, well, hold on. Oh, hold on. Maybe... No, I made a mistake. I think you throw the energy at the golems. Yeah, I think that's how it works, right? And the golems take the energy... Yeah, there it is. You give him swiftness, and so he's moving the energy from the pylons and thing. Right. I made a mistake. So what we're actually doing is just defending the golems. Do you know what, guys? I think I may have always played this event wrong as I've done this in the past. So look, that golem's powered down here. So I'm going to throw energy at him. There you go. And it makes him stand up and he gets moving. And then he's going to take energy and he... Oh, maybe we can just both do the job. Maybe that's the point. I can decide if I want to throw energy directly into the matrix or charge up some golems. Oh, this one's got a specific character in it as well. There you go. Oh, man, that's so cool. There's an Asura inside this one doing work. That neutralizing device can interrupt the seal's magic. We just have to power it up. And why would we do that? How would we do that? Simply grab an energy matrix from one of the power inverters and insert it into the device. Better yet, use it to activate my golems. Yeah, see? So we get a choice. Awesome. And me just being here is helping to resustain and heal up with the damage these sparks is doing. So that's cool. Almost done. And we'll get this last beam down.
There. I inverted the power flow, and voila! Seal disabled. It was a snap. The difficult part's keeping it away from Zaitan's
Dare
servants.
defile my master's sacred temple?
We must strike at the corrupted High Priestess while the seals are disabled. Go now!
So there it is! With all 3 down, the seal is open and we can attack Lissa herself. The final boss begins. And yeah, I just love the thought of, you know, people are charging in from all 3 door walkways now. It's so cinematic. Look at them all moving in. And because the meta takes a while to do, slowly more and more people start filtering in. So here we go, the Risen Priestess of Lissa. She's got a very cool mechanic where you can't look at her. She casts a spell, and if you're looking at her, you get perma-stun locked. She also constantly summons phantasms that hurt, and there are risen gorillas in the area that CC lock you and keep you stunned, which is super deadly, but very much in line with, you know, mesmery stuff.
Don't look at her! Turn away!
So there you go, she just went invulnerable, and we're being told not to look at her. If you look at her during this phase, here, she's casting it. See this? I am just constantly dazed. I can't use any skills. I can use shouts because they're instant activation here. But if I turn away, the daze disappears, see? And so there is actually a game. We can't hit the boss herself right now, but we can hit her allies. So the point is we need to face away from her during this phase and hit these other enemies that have Achilles' Bane on them. I'm not quite sure what that effect actually is or describing as a mechanic of this fight. If you notice here, I have Achilles' Bane on me too, I noticed while editing. And as I'm moving, I'm starting to bleed. So I think it's an effect that means you bleed as you move. Why both Risen and Pact both have that on them, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that's the idea of the effect. But yeah, so there's a really cool meta how all the events daisy chain together. But it's also a really cool meta in the boss fight at the end has got some badass mechanics too. So as the healer here as well, it's really important that I keep fighting when this daze lock is going on, because I can keep other people alive. So there you go, her spell's over, and now we can get back to the actual killing of her.
There is only death and undeath for you here.
Oh, what did she just say there? So here we'll use... Oh, she teleported away right as I was going to shield knock and break her break bar. That's amazing, actually. So yeah, there you go, break bar's down. I'll heal over everyone so they can just do as much damage as possible. Get back on my staff stuff. And the other thing as well is the area. Look at this. You've got all the catapults and stuff firing in. Oh, it's so cool. If this was like really hard and tuned like Balthazar was, I would have so many amazing memories of this area.
Zaitan will devour you, just as he devoured our gods.
So some amazing lore there. That apparently Zaitan has convinced these priests that he killed the gods. We know that's not true, right? Zaitan didn't eat the gods, right? I mean, we are at the altar of lies, so it would make sense, and I think that's exactly what the devs are doing here, really.
My goddess was mere prey for the dragon. Despair!
That this priestess is lying to us and trying to get in our heads. One of the reasons I really wanted to do this on Deborah for so long, guys, is that I really felt like it had to be a human that was experiencing these god temples and stories. It just means so much to be a human and hear that the Elder Dragon is trying to convince you that it's eaten your gods. It's eaten your gods. What a beautiful, beautiful bit of dialogue here.
It's dead. See to the device.
Right away, boss.
What it said back there. Do you think it's true? Is Lissa truly dead?
No, it lied. Don't fall for its tricks. Lissa's not dead. She's just not here.
It's done. As long as this device is active, all of the corrupted statues will be disabled.
Look, the storm is clearing.
Yes, we can rest for a while, but stay vigilant. I fear another storm is coming.
Man, what a beautiful, beautiful event. I love how the humans are wondering, wow, is it true? Is it true? Is it true? And the Char nearby is just like, oh, let's just get the job done. I don't care if it's true. The Char would probably like to put down the human gods and their interpretation, but we have to work together for now. So there you go. I do not get the big chest here because, as I showed earlier in the video, I actually got it earlier just from doing the defense of the temple rather than actually claiming it. Beautiful stuff, though. When I was young, people said I was blessed by the goddess Lissa. Being here now, it's just very difficult to know how I feel. Oh, man, see? And it's humans coming to terms with the fact that the gods just aren't looking or listening anymore. Of course, Deborah would be thinking about the fact she's been blessed by Cormyr Cormier doesn't even have a temple here, so she kind of gets to sit on the sidelines a little bit. You know, that's a special thing. It's kind of interesting in the cutscene where Casey freed us. We said that Grenth be damned or whatever. I like the idea that maybe she cares a bit about Grenth, and Grenth does have a cathedral here, but that's, even for Or, pretty goddamn far away. The corrupted power flowing from this place has been interrupted, but only temporarily. The Risen will try to reclaim this place eventually. And so, yeah, finally we got the Char. This is a Lightbringer. If there's one thing I'd like to know about this enemy, is that they don't give up. You'd better be ready for a fight. And I can help you with that. How? Well, he gives us. So check it out. He sells Orion mirror shards, which have the flavor text, "Is this the truth?" But also, let's have a look down here now at the Lost Orion jewelry box. So what this is a few months, well, about a year after the game came out, karma started building up in people's pockets. More and more and more karma. And so the devs wanted to add like another sink for it. For those who weren't spending all on obsidian shards, or, you know, this armor and stuff you see here, they wanted another karma sink so people didn't build up too much. And they added this item here called the Lost Orion Jewelry Box. And what it essentially is you buy it for a lot of karma, but when you open up, you can get a huge range of different items inside. Now, some things you can actually right-click and preview what you'll get. Here we can't, so I'm just going to open it, and well, hold on. First, let's salvage our stuff down with our salvage kit here. So there you go. We'll click salvage all and round it all down. And so when I open the chest, what do we get out? Well, we get some karma back here, you'll notice. And then we also get some other items. In particular, check it out. We just got a mini. The mini Risen Priest of Balthazar. So this is like the special loot that came from it. But it had a really, really high drop rate. So mini Risen Priest of Balthazar, I actually already have on my account. So I've got nothing to do with that except basically to destroy it. We'll do that later. But there you go. So Deborah just unlocked a mini. I can't believe I got that in the one box. So here we go. Minis. And here he is. So we'll equip him. And why is it Balthazar and not the Priest of Dwayna or whatever else? Well, again, because Balthazar was kind of the really big special one. So there he is, and he'll follow us around. Nice, we just got a mini from Or. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. It was like a gambling mechanic that you get to spend your karma on. And that's what we've been available from every single Orion karma vendor. There was actually a quote I remember very near and dear. Where the game director of Guild Wars 2 at the time, several months after release, suggested on a stream or something or an interview that they wanted to do a big Orion overhaul, and then that never happened in the end. But we got the jewelry boxes. So yeah, I always found that kind of interesting. Or did fundamentally change when servers changed because. It's all now mega servers instead of worlds and stuff. It used to be that by claiming this, all the statues in the other maps would be claimed as well, and rightly so. But now that it's mega servers, that kind of changed. So Or is a little bit different, but the overhaul that generally made it better never kind of came to be. But there you have it, guys. That's Malchor's Leap. That is the two big metas. Aside from that, you've got the metas to do with the assault to Ara. And they one to do with an Inquest base, which again I recommend you guys play. It isn't too amazing, so it won't make it into my series, but there is one there. Join me next time as Deborah does something even more special in Or, and that is actually progress on these main series escorts way down to the final two god temples and the gates of the holy city itself, Ara. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And that's Deborah's trajectory next. I'll see you guys next time.